Hey everybody, Chip Luton, the DIY Outdoorsman here with you. I want to make this kind of quick video today. It's about 11:30 on Saturday night. Everybody else in the house is in bed. We had a big day. My little boy turned 2 and had a pool party. Went to Titans game for a little bit, and now just kind of sitting here thinking about things and going through the mail, and was really excited. Had a little delivery today. So I've been listening to this podcast for I guess like a year now, and it's the End of the Line podcast with Rocky LaFleur's really the main host on it, and he's down in Mississippi. I think now he's in Oxford, Mississippi, but he's got a bunch of connections and has run a guide service for a long time, and he's got a lot of connections with other guides throughout the country. And there were a couple of podcast series that are on there, and if you guys haven't checked them out, I'll link down in the description to their podcast, but you need to go check it out. There's a guy on there named Ryan Warden, and Ryan was an outfitter in Kansas, and what really stood out to me about his story was that, a lot of the guys, really almost all the guys that I've hunted with in the past, really aren't transporting and maybe tagging ducks correctly, and as we're getting close to duck season, like, that's something I never think about. Like, hey, I got my 6 ducks, I keep them separate. No, usually they're in a big pile, right? And probably transporting them incorrectly. So he came up with a whole system to make sure that what happened to him doesn't happen to other people. So he created this company, and it's called Tags. I don't know if y'all can see that. Tags LLC, and they're out of Haven, Kansas. And what it is, and I'll open up the package and show you guys. Oops. Rip that in half. Whoops, sorry about that. Anyways, what I bought were the toe tags that are made for a stringer. So you can tag your individual birds, but since I carry a stringer to the field anyways, I just got tags for these. Now what's cool about these is they're waterproof. So you can stick them in your bag, they can get wet. You can still use them to ride on, even if they get wet. But when you are transporting and storing birds, they must be tagged. Now, this is something that you're not generally going to see in your state book, but it is a federal regulation. And what really stood out to me was Ryan's story, because he was an outfitter running a guide service. The feds decided that they wanted to pick on him, and what ended up ultimately happening is that he had his entire business taken away from him, basically, and went to court. And if you go listen to the podcast, you kind of hear what his life was like for 2 or 3 years of just this misery of like not knowing what was going to happen. So I definitely don't want that to happen to me on a personal level. If you're an outfitter, this is a must. You got to be tagging your birds, and you got to have your guys tagging your birds, because even though it may not be state level, he actually had people infiltrating him, working with him, working alongside him, like hanging out with his family, and these guys were feds. And don't know if it's going to happen to you. Hopefully it never does, but this is one way to make sure it doesn't. So check these guys out. I don't get anything for promoting these guys whatsoever. I bought these with my own money. Loved Ryan's story. Realized that I'm probably not doing the right thing, and so I want to make sure that I spread the word. Make sure you're tagging your birds. All your federal game birds have to be tagged, and when you're storing them, you got to make sure you're saying what species, what date they were killed, and a license number. And also you need to make sure, like, if one of your buddies says, hey, do you want these ducks? You need to make sure that you get his information on one of these tags too, with his information, with his phone number, with his address, with his, license number, and make sure that you mark that it's for a gift. Very, very important, guys. Anyways, just kind of want to give you guys that tip. Make sure you tag your birds. Make sure you keep the tags with them until you consume them. Thanks, guys. I hopefully got a few more videos coming up. We're supposed to be working on the blind a little bit tomorrow, so might get a 2 for this week. Get some stuff from that, and we'll catch you next time on the DIY Outdoorsman. Thanks, guys.